Hello, my curious souls. Welcome in or welcome back. Thank you for being here and sharing your time and energy with me today. My name is Amanda, and today we have a collective reading for a very small portion of you, so this may or may not resonate. Please only take the messages that feel aligning, inspiring, or confirming for you, and kindly leave the rest behind for someone else that needs to hear it. This reading will also be timeless. Whenever you find it, there will be something here to guide you along your journey. And also remember in all of my readings to please use your discernment to do what is best for your personal circumstances, situation, limitations, and means. So I was in a very contemplative, meditative state, and a child energy or childlike energy came through, and the Page of Cups in reverse came out in my mind's eye. So this is where we're going to start the reading today. I got the sense that there was a disconnect from a child, whether it's in the spirit realm or in your own personal realm, your inner child that you've disconnected from. So we will see what comes out. This is the first time that an energy has come through so strongly and needed to share a message with somebody. So hopefully it resonates. We're going to get a couple of oracle cards and then get into the tarot for a little more detail. I'm going to try to keep this reading as short as I can. Because I know many of you aren't really into collective readings, and this is also very specific, so it's not going to resonate with many of you. So let's get a sense for starting point, opening energy, spirit, this childlike energy. Come forth, and what would you like to share with the collective today? What would you like to share? Thank you. And one more. What is this reading going to be about? Okay. So we have the seer and the traveler. See beyond the current situation, and move in a new direction. So I think this energy, whether it is your higher self or your inner child's energy or a child in the spirit world coming through, I feel like they are encouraging you to move in a new direction or do something differently than you've done before. There's a sense that you are maybe moving in a situation, or have been for some time, of stagnation or some level of grief, some level of sorrow that you haven't been able to shake. So there has been a disconnect from that inner child, and you haven't been able to find the joy, the soul, or the purpose in your life. So I feel like Spirit is encouraging you to interrupt that. I'm getting an interruption so that you can reconnect and spark some kind of joy, some kind of internal flame again to get those embers burning. Traveling could be something where you need to travel somewhere to be re-inspired or reinvigorated, getting out of your day-to-day, if anything. So if you feel like life has become routine and stagnant and you've lost that sense of purpose, to interrupt that with something different, something new. And this could be in a number of ways. You could take a different road or a different mode of transportation to work. You could maybe take a short trip or explore your local area, become a tourist in your own city, or you could do big worldly travels that you can really step out of your day-to-day and be immersed in something different and something new. So there's a certain situation that needs to be looked at differently. I'm getting a new perspective. In order to get a certain part of you back, you have to step out into the world. So we'll get 3 cards. One more. Okay. So we have the 8 of Wands, we have the Page of Swords in reverse, and we have the 4 of Wands in the upright. So definitely speaks to movement, definitely speaks to travel, and definitely speaks to kind of a reconnection with or finding harmony within the foundations of your life. Starting with the 8 of Wands, this is an energy of manifestations, of moving forward in the direction of your passions, desires, your aspirations, putting your energy towards a specific focus, refocusing, turning the mind's eye, or turning the eye to a different focal point is what I'm hearing, because that will help move the energy. So movement of energy is what I'm getting here, because there's a stagnation. So both of these, I feel, are speaking to this idea of movement, of maybe physical movement. That could be exercise, it could be exploration within your own city or town, or maybe even your own state or country or province. But it could also be international travel to get exposure to different cultures and just different people, so that you can hear their stories and make new connections. So either way, I do think that movement is a big energy here, so that you can move the energy, the stagnant energy, up, out, and away. And that might also help you see beyond the current situation and the current stagnation that you could be feeling at this time. The Page of Swords in reverse is this energy of feeling possibly overwhelmed, or maybe an unwillingness or a restriction to learning something new, or accepting some kind of new truth, of being open-minded about something. So definitely consider what that might mean for you. But there could just be a lack of clarity as well, or a lack of how to do this, how to move, what do I need to learn in order to get out of this. That could be something that you need to explore, and it could be specific to your particular situation and circumstance. But there is, both of these energies are very childlike, because they are pages. This is kind of new and fresh energy, seeing the eyes in a new and fresh way, and really being open to seeing things from new perspectives, from new points of view, and really opening yourself up to new stories, new feelings, new thoughts, and new dreams. Maybe your dreams have changed, so now it's about rediscovering those things, rediscovering who you are in the now, rather than who you used to be. So stepping into these new shoes to be able to experience the world in a new way. We have the Four of Wands as well, which can speak to a really beautiful balance and harmony within one's life, and having a really strong spiritual foundation for you to launch from. So this energy of reconnection to your inner child, reconnection to that learner energy, to be able to discover new ways of finding that foundation for yourself. Maybe spiritual growth is what's happening here. So to be really observant in the process, and to be really allowing and accepting of whatever needs to come through, and maybe where the energy is trying to take you. The Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck can speak to really fiery energy of moving in the direction of your desires, your passions, your will, and bringing that will to the forefront. As what is it that you are really excited about doing? What is it that you're really passionate about doing? Or what is it that you used to feel passionate about doing that you no longer do, or you may feel disconnected with? It's about getting back in touch with that part of yourself and to take action. This isn't just something that I feel will come knocking at your door. This is something that you need to take action on. So again, we have that movement energy with the horse, and that really bold movement forward. This is going to be a bold move for you, however that is, whether it is small and you interrupting that daily routine with a new route to work, or you doing that local exploration, or whether you are traveling the world. I feel like whatever type of movement it is for you, it's going to feel significant. It could even feel uncomfortable, but I feel it's going to really open your heart up to that reconnection with that inner child, and that childlike energy of being really playful and dreamy and imaginative, and learning new things about yourself, learning new things about the world, seeing life through a different lens. So I would like to get clarifiers on, I'm being asked to clarify the oracle cards. Clarify the seer, see beyond your current situation, and it is clarified by the devil. So there could be some patterns of behavior, some people, some situations or circumstances that are making you feel like you have no control, that are making you feel stuck, that are making you feel like you can't break free from an old pattern, an old cycle, a person that is trying to control or manipulate you. You feel like you can't break away, like you are tied to this thing forever. When we look at the devil in many of the depictions of the tarot, there are chains to this devil, and in some there are strings that you can easily cut. So it's almost like a bit of an illusion that we are being controlled by maybe an unseen force. But really, it's up to us to take action and movement and not participate in the thing that we might identify as toxic or as patterns of behavior that we no longer want to identify with. It is about choice. Now, that doesn't mean that it's possible always to make the choice, because there are restrictions, there are limitations, there are circumstances in which people are stuck and can't get out of. But what are the choices and the movements that you can make right now that align with where you want to go and what that looks like for you? Now, this may be more of a spiritual movement as well than an actual physical movement, because we have a lot of wands here. There's a lot of will coming to the surface, so you have to be willing to make the changes and maybe even get a little uncomfortable to be able to move away from the energies that you no longer want to associate with. And it's about using your intuition as well, your intuition and your discernment, and being open to that, understanding that. So we have the Five of Swords in the reverse. This could be inner conflict or conflict with others, which just clarifies to me that this is an energy that you would like to move away from, but maybe not sure how. So again, looking at those small mindful movements and not worried about how fast or slow you might go. I'm going to move this guy out of the way. I'm going to keep him here. And let's get clarifiers on the Traveler now. Not too many, okay. So we have the Moon in reverse. Yeah, I feel like the results that you're looking for are going to be a little bit of a mystery, and it will require you to step out of some kind of comfort zone. Again, when we're not willing to step out of that comfort zone, we get stuck, we get stagnant, the energy gets stale because we aren't introducing anything new, and there's no room for anything new to come in. So it's about clearing that space and to allow transformations to happen in whichever way that they do. This may have you questioning a lot of things. This may have you wondering and worrying and stressing about what the outcome's going to be. Where is this taking me? Who am I? Where am I going? What's the purpose? What's the meaning? You know, big questions, deep questions, dark questions. But the only way to get answers to that is to use your intuition and to move in the direction that your intuition is calling you to do. So let's clarify the Traveler. There we go. Okay, look at this. Yep. Knight of Pentacles in the upright, which means slow and steady. This is about being really practical about the approach and not doing something out of fear, not doing something out of haste, but doing things really practical, very one step at a time, very one toe at a time even, to kind of inch our way forward into this. We don't want to dive deeply unless that's your thing. You just want to cut ties and do these huge big movements like this Eight of Wands, where it's large and it's fast and it's quick and we're done. You could do that if that's your thing, but I feel like you might bypass a lot of things in this movement forward if you go too quickly. So the idea is to move really slowly, really patiently, commit yourself to the process, be really determined about the direction that you're taking, even though you're unclear, even though you're unsure, and to be able to observe the world. I feel like there's a lot of observation energy coming through with this learner energy. because there's a willingness to see things and observe and absorb new information, absorb new ideas, new thoughts, new feelings, and really tap into your intuition and that inner child that I feel you've maybe disconnected from during a really difficult time in your life. So what does that inner child need? What does that inner child feel? And I feel security and comfort in the discomfort. How can you offer that inner child the comfort, the safety, the security, the stability during this movement forward, during this time of change, challenge, and transformation, to be able to set up a really firm foundation for yourself and to really have your own back here. So what's interesting is that we have this Knight of Wands moving in that direction, and we have the Knight of Pentacles moving in that direction. So there's almost a feeling of two different, not only different types of movement, but also directions. So there could be two pathways for you to take here. One that you feel really passionately connected to, but may not be ideal or necessarily healthy. And then another direction that feels a little more stable and practical, but it requires patience and getting out of your comfort zone a little bit. So this isn't something that you might be used to doing. You might be used to moving really fast and furious when you have an idea, when you want to move in some direction, or if you want to attain some kind of goal, or you aspire for something, you move really quickly. When I really feel like the energy has almost shifted or will be shifting, and that maybe your inner child needs to slow down, needs to stop and look around and create a firm foundation. Have that firm foundation so that you have something to rely on, something to lean on, something to sink into and root down into, so that when it comes to moving through difficult times, challenging times, that you have this foundation to lean on, rather than, I almost get a bit of a ping pong energy on this side of the table, where you're moving really fast and you're not really able to find your footing because there's so much fire, there's so much movement that you're missing things in the process. There's again that disconnection coming through. So when you're traveling, to travel at a different speed and maybe move in a different direction than you've done before, which may garner different results. So this is what I have for you, my dear collective. I hope it helped you and that these messages were hopeful, relevant, and or necessary. With gratitude, I'm sending you all my love and luck, and we'll see you in your next reading.